Hello, everyone, and welcome to Na Ajele Bojo in Conversation with. Today, I'm very excited because we have Isaac Tamate Otu, the chairman of Dangme, coming to talk to us about Dangme marriage. Now, this show is specifically for those who may not have previously engaged GaDangme culture before. Maybe you were born and raised outside of Ghana and you haven't been in that, culture. So we are going to go right to the basics and we're going to explain in simple steps so that all can understand the beautiful Dangme marriage. So welcome to the show, Tamate. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing well. I'm doing fine. How about you too?
I'm doing brilliantly. So today is the topic Dangme marriage, and I am going to pretend that I am a Dangme girl who is going to marry a Dangme man. So I now come to my family house and say, Mom, Dad, I found the man I want to marry. Can you tell me what the process will be from the beginning to the end regarding Dangme marriage? And then if I want certain bits explained, I will interject. So I've found the person I want to marry. What do I do as a Dangme person?
Thank you. In Dangme or in Krobo, marriage is seen as, a duty, a requirement from the Dangme community. And it's something that you must all partake in it. Must all partake in it. So it's seen as a duty, a requirement, and something that you must all partake. You must all partake in it. If you find a Dangme man and think that you are in love with the man and you want to marry the man, or the man has also expressed interest in you to marry you, the first thing is to inform your mother about it. You must first inform your mother about it. Ladies in Dangme, ladies, everywhere, ladies and their mothers are closer than their fathers. So you must first inform your mother about it. And you must let the man also come and see your mother. Privately about it, to express interest to your mother about it. We call this in Dangme chuchum lim, yes. And so you must first introduce your man to your mother. And then when you come, your mother will demand some one or two things about you, okay, from you. They would like to know your name, where you are from, which tribe you are, what you do, okay. And then as part of the chuchumlim, knowing your mother you have to present some token of money to your mother, to your mother. Then the next step, now that you're able to get your mother, the man is able to get your mother in his fold. Now, your mother will now inform your father that Najeli has come with a man to come and see her. So now your mother will now become the betweener between you, Ajeli, your man, and your father. Okay. So there will be a meeting where you and the man will come and see your father. But your mother now will, before you come with your man to your father, your mother might have done all the work. Talk to your father, so might have done all the work for you. So as you're coming, your mother will now lead you to go and see your father. Tell him about your man. Now, as you express interest, now the first thing they will do is they will do what? Premarital investigations. Premarital investigations, where they will have to investigate about the man's family. Your man that you brought, they have to do investigation about his family. We call it premarital investigation. Premarital investigation. You see, they have to make sure that the man you are bringing is of good character. In their family, they don't have any strange diseases, or in their family, they don't have any character or anything that is bad. Marriage in Krobo or in Dangme is between families.
Mhm.
So as you are bringing the man to the family, your parents have to do underground investigation about your man's family to find out whether this man, one, is of good character, their family is of good character. They do not have any record of any strange sicknesses like madness, like some strange diseases. Okay, strange skin diseases. When they are done with all this and they have done this investigation and they are okay, now they will ask you to tell the man to come formally with his family to come and see them for your hand in marriage. So when you are coming with the man will come with gin, 2 bottles of gin. Okay, you will have to come with your elders, 2 bottles of gin. And then when you now come to formally inform them of your man will now formally come to inform them of the intention to marry you. But before then, you present the 2 bottles of gin to your father-in-law and his family. So with that,
I wanted to find out the name of that tradition. When the man comes to the parents' house with the elders to formally ask your hand in marriage, what is the Dangme name for that section of the marriage process?
yeah, that one we call it. I mean, ngachemenam, ngachemenam. We are now ngacheme. Your man, ngachemenam. That's ngache. Your father becomes the ngache of your man.
Mm-hmm.
Ngache, your father-in-law. Ngache means father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Law. He's coming to see your father-in-law. Ngache menam. So when your man presents the drink, 2 bottles of drink, and then now it means that they will have to present the list of items. I mean to your man. They will not have to present the list of items to your man. In global marriage, I mean the items that are presented or the items presented are in 4 parts. That's four parts. In global marriage, the items that are presented are in 4 parts. The first part, that is Hesijim. We call it Hesijim. That is introduction. Okay, Hesijim. Okay, I mean, first you have done a first Hesijim to your mother-in-law and your father-in-law, but when you come, you have to do another Hesijim. Okay, Hesijim. Then you have to do another Hesijim to your father-in-law. That one is 1 bottle of Schnapp.
Mm-hmm.
1 bottle of Schnapp. Then the next item is Yobami. Yobam. That's borrowing of the woman. That one too is 2 bottles of Schnapp.
Mm-hmm.
In some places, they take cash equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the Schnapp, they take cash equivalent. They'll look at the price of the Schnapp and then they'll take the cash equivalents.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one list that will give you is Agbosim. That one too is 2 bottles of Schnapp.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next item is Wimsem. Wimisem. That one too is 2 bottles of Schnapp. Then the next item is Yosibim. That one too is 2 bottles of Schnapp. Then the next item is Yosolim. That one too is 2 bottles of Schnapp. And then the last item on the first part is Nyasinam.
Mm-hmm.
Nyasinam, that is 2 bottles of Schnapp. This is the first part.
Okay, so there's like 12 bottles of schnapps for the various sections.
Yes, 2 bottles of Schnapp for all of these things. That's the first part.
Mm-hmm.
2 bottles of Schnapp.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do up to this first part. When you do up to this first part and don't continue, you can be allowed to take the woman home as your wife. But then you have not completed the full right. But then with this one alone, you can take the woman home as your wife.
So that
And
literally people consider as the marriage.
Yes, you've started a marriage, but you've not finished fully. But what you have reached is enough for you to become a husband and to become a husband. okay, and the woman to become your wife. But you have not finished.
Okay. So just to understand, so what happens is they come to do the introduction. My family, because I'm using myself as an example, will then give them this list, which consists of bottles of schnapps for the various sections. Now, these bottles of schnapps, where do they go once they've been given to my side of the family? Where do they go?
It's for your father. That's the father-in-law. Your father. Who is the
So the
father-in-law?
father-in-law gets all those bottles of schnapps.
Get all these bottles of schnapps. Get all these bottles of schnapps. But what is happening now is that now they convert them into cash equivalents. They convert all this into cash equivalent. Because now people no more drink schnapp. In the days of old, they drink the schnapp. Or your father might have maybe a fetish priest. In the days of old, there's nothing like Christianity. So your father may be worshiping a lesser god or maybe a priest. So he may need this schnapp. Okay, may need this schnapp. Or in the days of old, your father will actually also be drinking it. Or when he gets visitors, your father will bring out this schnapp and he and the visitors will drink. But now things are changing. Okay, now things are changing. Now people are becoming Christian. There's this notion of worship of lesser gods. It's not more like in the first. When you get visitors, they will not like to drink schnapp. They want malt or beer, okay, or coke. So these items that I've mentioned all in the contemporary Krobo society, all these things I've mentioned, they are now converted into cash. Okay, so if a bottle of schnapp is say 60 cedis, if a bottle of schnapp, now a bottle of schnapp is about 30 cedis. So the two bottles of schnapp is 60 cedis. So each of these items will be 60 cedis each. Are you getting me?
So if I understand this correctly, in this first initial stage with the bottle of schnapp, basically they were buying a drink that may have been in use for that person, that could even be shared amongst their family for nourishment, or it may have previously been used in ritual according to the spiritual system that was in place before colonization, for example. So now that schnapps may not be as in use as previously, then okay. So before the schnapps, would we have had like palm wine or akbeteshi? What would we have used before the schnapps was brought over?
We have the local schnapp and the foreign schnapp.
Oh, okay.
We have local schnapp and foreign schnapp. So before the foreign schnapp came, we already have the local schnapps, okay, which are prepared in Ghana. These local schnapps are prepared in Ghana, long ago, before the foreign schnapps started coming in. The difference between the local schnapp and the foreign schnapp is that the foreign schnapps are cost more than the local schnapps. But we have schnapps, so it has been schnapp that they use. Okay. It's been schnapp that they use.
Okay. So after this
schnapp.
introductory giving of drinks that are used to, nourish the family, what's the next? At that point, you could be considered as husband and wife. The woman could go home with the husband, but the process has not been finished.
Yeah, it's only finished. So let's finish it.
Okay.
So now let's go to the second part. After this part, we go to the second part. The second part, I mean, you buy some items for your father-in-law. That's your father. Your man will buy some items for your father. That is full piece of cloth. Okay, full piece of cloth, a pair of sandals. I mean, two cutlass, two pair of cutlass, two cutlass. An umbrella, and a tobacco. And this all goes to the father-in-law.
Okay, why the tobacco?
In the days of old, we smoked tobacco. Okay. In the days of old, our fathers smoked tobacco. But now, that part of tobacco is now converted into cash. Normally, it's 50 cedis. No, nobody smokes tobacco anymore. So they convert it into cash. Convert it to cash. Then as part of the second part, after you buy these items for the father-in-law, now we go to the mother-in-law. The mother-in-law, we call it nganye same form. Nganye same form. Whilst your father is called ngache, your mother is called nganye. Nganye same form. Down there, your mother will demand some amount of money from your man because she has been able to, she has carried you but at the back. You have defecated on her, urinated on her, you have made her grow lean. She has had sleepless nights. She even some places that she has to go, she couldn't go because of you. So because of that, no, she'll have to demand some token of money from your husband to be. That amount is a token because if your mother has to charge, your husband cannot pay. Cannot pay if he charge you for all that she has gone through for your sake. So it's a token of amount of money. Now that amount goes around 500 cities, 500 Ghana cities, or 600 Ghana. Yes, that's on the average. 500 Ghana cities. Then from there we go to you now Jelly. Actually, there's amount of money you charge the man for come to marry you. We call it UCP. Okay, there's an amount of money. You see, in the days of old, the women put on the loin. You see, in depot, you see the way the depot women dress, the loin around their. There was something panty, or there was something like pants or jeans string. Okay, so in the days of old, women put on the sipambwe. So charge the man for that. Now it also goes around 500 Ghana cedis. Okay, you charge the man. Now that amount is used to buy your panties and your things, your brassiere. So you charge the man for that. So we call it Yusipambwe. Then from there we go to the brothers-in-law. Brothers-in-law. If you have brothers, they will also charge some amount of money for taking care of you and policing you and make sure that you are. So for the man coming, they will also charge some amount of money for the brothers-in-law. Even if you don't have brothers, there are people in the family who are also brothers-in-law. That's your your cousins. Yes, brothers-in-law. So they will also charge amount of money. So we have amount of money that go to the brothers-in-law. It ranges between 100 cities, 200, 300. It depends on them. Okay. Then the sister-in-law. Your sister-in-laws too, some amount of money goes to them. The amount of money goes to them. They will also charge. Okay, sister-in-law. They will also charge amount of money. Then that ends the second part. That second part. You see how it is going. We finished the first part. Now we are going to the second part. Now we finish the second part. The second part involves items you buy for the father-in-law. I told you one umbrella, a pair of sandals, tobacco, and this thing, sandals, the native sandals, abladi sandals. Then your mother will charge. That's mother-in-law will charge. Your mother-in-law will charge. We call the mother-in-law Bajome Asika. Bajo means Asika. Then the sister-in-law so will charge. Then that ends the second part. Then we move on to the third part. We move to the third part. The third part is the fiapemi. Fiapemi. We call it fiapemi. In some of the Dangme communities, like Krobo, you will do this fiapemi so that the woman, in the case, in the future, when the woman dies, you can be able to bury the woman in your hometown or whatever you want to bury. If you don't do this fiapemi, it means that when the woman dies, you have to take the woman to hometown to bury. In Krobo, we do fiapemi. So when you marry a Krobo woman and you do the fiapemi, and she dies in future, you can bury her anywhere you like, in your hometown or wherever you are in abroad.
So she doesn't go back to the father's hometown. She'll go to your hometown should you decide that, okay.
Yes. In some of the Dangme communities, like Ada, okay, Ada, they don't do fiape payment. So if you marry an Ada woman, when she dies, you have to take her back to her home, Ada, to bury her. It's strictly, if you marry an Ada woman, okay, if you marry an Ada woman, and also Ningo, Ningo Pram woman, they don't do fiape payment. So when they die, you have to take their body, their dead body, back to Ada or Ningo to bury them there. If you don't do that and you bury her, trouble awaits you. Trouble awaits you. The man can even die, and your family can die, or there will be implications. There will be you will invite a lot of bad luck, sicknesses on you until you are able to exhume the body and go and bury. So in Krobo, we have the fiapemi, where you do the fiape, and these are the items that are needed for the fiapemi. 1 bottle of red wine, 1 bottle of schnapp, okay, 1 bottle of schnapp, and a amount of money, and you do the fiapemi. The fiapemi is done in your father's room, the entrance of your father's room. If you open the door, the door, where the door, we call it sinya bong. When you open your father's door, the entrance before you enter your father's is done there. The fiapemi is done there. Okay, that one they will select a wemdede. When we say wemdede, we mean a woman in the family who is a dede, who is an elderly born dede, who is of good character. And then they will also invite a wemdede from your man's family, and they will meet the entrance of the door and perform those rites. We call it fiapemi. We call it fiapemi. It's very, very important. That's the third part. Then on the fourth part, the part 4, the part 4 we call the customary wedding. The part 4 is what we call the customary wedding, where you present the ring. The man presents a ring to you, to your hands. He give you a ring. Then a Bible, and daka, ekulak, with items in it.
So that this fourth bit, is this done in the family house or is this done in the church?
No, this is the customary marriage of the Kobo. So it's done in the family house.
Okay.
The family house. So the part 4, you have to give the ring to the woman. The Bible and ekulak.
So the first stage is where they present drinks to the father, and to my dad, if we're using myself as an example, and he can share it to his guests to drink or use it for his work or whatever he does. The second part is where they show appreciation to everybody who's contributed to your life. So your father who raised you, your mother who had to suffer to bring you up, your brother-in-law who's protecting you, and your sister-in-law. And if I understand correctly, the third part is then where if the couple has decided that the woman wants to be buried in the hometown of the husband, they now have to perform a ritual at the entrance of the door of the father's house.
Yes, called fiapemi. In Ada, they don't do fiapemi at all. It's not a choice. They don't do it at all.
Okay. So just in Krobo land, the fiapemi part is done.
It's only in Krobo that the fiapemi is done.
Okay.
But the rest of the Dangme tribe, they don't do fiapemi.
Okay.
So it means when you marry a Dangme woman, apart from Krobo, and she dies, you have to take her back to her hometown to bury her over there.
Okay. And then the final stage is where they're now presented at the family house with a Bible, a ring, and is this like the religious sealing of it? So if you're Muslim, for example, or you believe in traditional beliefs, would they then provide the religious books of those systems?
If you're a Muslim, then you provide a Quran. If you also don't believe in the Bible, the man will not give you Bible.
Okay.
If you're an artist and you don't believe in the Bible, The man will not give you. He will give you the ring. You wear ring.
Okay.
We call that one the traditional ring. It's a ring, but it's different from the one that you wear in the church.
Mm-hmm.
The ring that you give during the customary marriage, they made a design on it. There's a design on it. It's not flat. It's not smooth.
Mm-hmm.
On top of it, design. Normally, it's like a knot on it.
Okay.
But the church is smooth all around. The
Okay.
church
So
ring
the traditional ring is very different to the Christian ring, for example.
is a ring. So if you see any Krobo woman or Dangme woman that has married, you see that she has two rings on the finger.
Mm-hmm.
Two rings finger. One is a customary one, and one is the church one. That is done. And the customary one, when you see it, it's not smooth all around. It's smooth all around, but there's on top of it, they made a design, a mark,
Mm-hmm.
a mark, a knot on it. Then it's customary one.
Okay.
Any Dangme woman that married both did the customary marriage and the church wedding,
Mm-hmm.
we wear two rings on the finger.
Okay. So once they've completed this process, because I always hear like our traditional weddings described as engagement and not actual wedding. Once they've done this once they've gone through this whole process, in Krobo community, are they now seen as husband and wife? Full stop.
You see, let me clear this perception. People always say engagement. There's nothing like engagement. It's customary marriage. People always make this mistake and they say, "Oh, I'm going to do engagement. She has an engagement." No. It's customary marriage. There's nothing like engagement. The engagement is when, I mean, during your courtship, when you are courting with your husband will engage you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
will engage you with a ring.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we call engagement. But the one that I would do at home is called customary marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
customary marriage. And the one that we do at home is a real marriage. In fact, the customary marriage is a real marriage. That is the proper marriage. What it means is that if you do the house marriage, the customary marriage, full marriage, you can choose not to go and do the church wedding or the church marriage. You can choose not to do it. It's a full marriage.
Okay.
Because you see, in Tobo or in Dangme, marriage is given by family, not a pastor. It's two families that give out marriage. That's that marriage, not a pastor. So when you do the customary marriage, that is the real marriage. You can choose not to go and do the one in the church wedding, and it's marriage.
Mm-hmm.
What it means is that if you don't do the customary marriage at home and you skip that part and you went to do the church marriage, that marriage doesn't hold, is null and void. God will bless the marriage for you. They will accept it. And if you say you have done it, they'll call your head of family. That's you now, your head of family, to the public in front of the whole church and ask him whether this man has come to see your parents, your family, and have done all the customary marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And when your father says yes, the pastor will continue the process.
Okay. So the priority is the customary.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So the customary marriage is the ultimate. Is the ultimate marriage. Is the ultimate marriage. So the customary marriage is the ultimate. When you have done it, you have done marriage, and both the woman and the man are seen as husband and wife, and it's recognized by both families.
So I have a couple of other questions. So two questions I wanted to ask based on what you said. You said that when the man has come and spoken to the man and come to the family, they do a premarital investigation. How do you investigate someone's family? Do you go to them and say, by the way, do you have these genetic diseases, or do you have this trait, or how is the investigation done?
It's a secret investigation that they do. It's a secret investigation. You don't have to let them know that you are investigating them. You see, now the world is a global world. So they will, you see, the investigation will first start from you. They'll ask you a lot of questions. Your father and mother or your family will sit you naturally down and ask you a series of questions. That do you know the man very well? Who is the father? Who is the mother? Are they having any serious sicknesses? Are they having any character in their family? Are they drunkards? Are they wife beaters? Are they quarrelsome? Then so they will begin the investigation from you. Okay. Then from there, you see, if you're in Accra, if your man is in Accra and the parent in Krobo here, by means they'll have your parents will have some people in Accra, some of their family members in Accra that they can talk to about that, to do investigations about your husband for them. Mm-hmm. And also, as your husband keeps on coming to the house and going, they're also monitoring him. Mm-hmm. They can do it. You know, it's easy to do the investigations these days. They can do it. So it's a secret investigation that they do. They'll not let you know. And at first, there's intermarriage. If I say intermarriage, where there's this thing, there's no intermarriage. There's endogamy. There's endogamous marriage, where people marry within the Krobo clan. Mm-hmm. At first, when there was no education, there was no migration, and this thing, I mean, people stay in the Krobo or in the Dangme area to marry. They don't travel. Okay, so it's easy to do these investigations. But now, because of education, migration, work, people travel outside the Krobo area, maybe to Accra, to London, to Germany, to Tamale, to Wa. So it makes these investigations, these investigations very difficult these days to do. Okay, it makes it very difficult to do. But in the days of old, where many Krobos live on Krobo area, Krobo land, Adan living Adan, Shai, Osudoku, Shai living Shai, Osudoku living Osudoku. It's easy to do these investigations. Mm-hmm. Okay, we call them endogamous marriage. Endogamous marriage is where people marry within the clan or the tribe. Now, because of education, because of white collar jobs and this, and people are now doing exogamous marriage, where people marry outside the clan. Mm-hmm. And the issue of premarital investigation is difficult to do these days. And it's the reason why now these days, divorce is on the increase these days in Krobo, Dangme, not only in Krobo or in Dangme, but all over the world. Because now a child who has finished school, the work will take him to the north, to Kumasi, to Sunyani, and we'll find a man over there. And you can maybe be able to do the investigations very well. So it's one of the reasons why divorce rate is on the increase in Ghana now, or in the Krobo or Dangme community now.
You're not able to investigate the background of the people that they're marrying into to make sure that it is a suitable match and works. Okay. The last question before we close off the show is, I wanted to ask, the dowry, does that list remain the same for all family houses, or does it vary? Like me being in the UK, if I wanted to add, I don't know, laptop to the dowry list, could I do that in the traditional dowry list?
Yes, in the list I've mentioned to you, okay, it's a sample of lists of it's a sample marriage list, but it doesn't vary much. It doesn't vary much, though in some of the clans and lineages they may add some one or two things or take off some one or two things, but it is a general list. Okay, it's a general list, and you must conform to it. You don't go and go and demand TV, laptop. You don't go and demand anything outside this list. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I must say that the list here is a sample list, but it's a general. This what is a general list, though there'll be some slight variations between some families and lineages and clans, but this is the general list. If there'll be any variation at all, slight difference, slight something, But in Dangme or Kobo, we don't accept laptops, cars, fridges, cow, phones. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. After the marriage ceremony, if you feel like you, the man, feel like buying your father-in-law car or a fridge or laptop, that one is between you and father-in-law, but it's not part of the list.
Okay. So these items are more symbolic tokens to say thank you for doing this, rather than you trying to sell off the girl. Like, as some people might suggest, you're trying to sell her off.
They're just tokens. As I said earlier on, if your father want to sell you now, no man can buy you because he has spent so much on you, right from your pregnancy. When you are in your mother's womb, your father is spending so much on you. When you were a toddler, a child, started school, university education, rent, and those things is very expensive. Food, very expensive. So if your family want to sell you, no man can buy any woman on this earth. No man, you can't buy. So it's token, and that token, no, still, if you are the man, you're able to pay this token. It shows how serious you are. No, it's still a token, but they can't give it to you free. There must be some custom. And once you, the man, has been able to meet this token, meet the demand of this token, it means that you are serious. You show some seriousness. If
you've pressed mute again. You've pressed mute again.
Yeah, hello.
I think you got a call, right?
Yeah, I got a call, okay. But I told them I'll call them. So I'm saying that all these things are token, oh. They are talking. In fact, if you gather, if you list the amount of money in all these things that we listed, okay? If you list the amount of money, it's between 1,600 and 2,500 for the whole thing, this whole thing here. And even that one in our Krobo or Dangme society, you can still come and beg. You can still come and come and do what? And the negotiation, okay? It's allowed. You have to come with your family and come and seek for negotiation and beg them to reduce some of the price and amount for you. It's not fixed. This amount here it's not fixed. A place I told you that your mother-in-law will charge 500 cedis, or your brother-in-law will charge 200 cedis, or the sister-in-law will charge. No, you will come and beg them, and if they want to be considerate on you, they will do this for you. So it's between, normally it's between if you know how to bargain. Some husbands, some would husband know how to beg very well. Oh, they'll be begging, and they can beg. When they come and you reduce the amount for them, they'll go and come back again, be begging you, sir. So some are able to even get 1,000, some 1,500, some 2,000, some 2,500. Yes. So it's just a token, and everybody knows about it. And that's why when you come and marry the woman away, and you are maltreating the woman, the family can take you on. The family, your father and your mother can take you on if your husband is maltreating you, is beating you, can take the husband on because they've not sold to him. They've not sold you to him. It's just a token. So so it's just a token, not selling you out.
I think it's really important because people say that dowry is selling your daughter, but it's simply a token to say thank you and show appreciation. The girl didn't just come out of nowhere. She's the product of a community upbringing, essentially. And yeah, we're priceless.
It's a token. Some men, some Ghanaian men of today, after paying this token, they've bought you out. So they can easily beat the woman, they maltreat the woman, and the listing, they'll brag that I came to pay your bride price, and see the way you are maltreating me. I've regretted paying your bride price. They think that they've bought you out, and it's not. And we need to educate the men who come to do this and that. Look, it's just a token. If you want to sell, if you want to price our daughter, you can buy. Okay, many men today are too pompous, arrogant. They maltreat their wives. And the explanation they give is that I've come to pay your bride price. And so if I say this, you must obey. If I say sit down, you must sit. If I say don't go out, you must not obey. You must obey. If I say don't go out, you must obey. Sit, sleep. Don't do this. That's where some of the Ghanaian men get it wrong. It's just a token. You've not bought her out. Okay. And therefore, I mean, you and your wife, you must reach always an agreement, a compromise in your marriage, so that you have a peaceful marriage.
Yeah.
Immediately, you the back of your mind that you bought the woman, you got it wrong right from the beginning. And we need to do a lot of education to the men out there that it's just a token. You've not bought her, but something small that you have to just present so that you get it. You get the woman. That's all.
Okay. Thank you so much for that clarification. And just to summarize, to make sure that I've passed the exam well, I find a man that I like. I tell my mum, I have a conversation with my mum. My mum does the initial planning and investigation. If she's happy with everything, she tells my dad. And if my dad's happy with everything, she'll ask the man to formally come with his elders and some two schnaps to say what his intentions are. After he does that, there will now be an investigation, a premarital investigation to make sure that the house is safe for me to enter, that they won't beat me, they won't maltreat me, that they have basically the resources to look after me. There is no diseases and things like that that I should be aware of. Once that's done, there is a 4-stage process. The first stage being presenting a number of drinks, which will go to the father-in-law. And then the second stage is going to be presenting to the father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, and the sister-in-law, essentially all those who've contributed to your upbringing, made you who you are today. And then the third one is specific for Krobo land. And that is where if the husband and the wife decide that they would like to be buried together, maybe in the husband's homeland, they will then perform a ritual at the doorstep of the father's house, of the father's room. And then the final stage is basically the presentation of a customary ring and the religious, depending on your religion. And that kind of feels that 4-bit process. The customary bit where the ring is very different to the traditional ring given, well, to the ring given in churches. And also the customary marriage is the ultimate marriage. In Krobo land, you are not considered married if you have not done the customary marriage. And to also add, these are tokens. They are not you buying the daughter. If you maltreat the daughter, the parents have every right to take the daughter from you. These are tokens of appreciation and only tokens of appreciation. Have I passed the exam on Dangme marriage?
You've passed it. You've done so. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. There's one aspect, I mean, which is the second part, where the father-in-law, you have to present one piece of cloth that he'll put on, traditional sandals, cutlass, and then the tobacco that you smoke. That's the only aspect you skip. But that one too, I think on the whole you have done well with your summary.
Okay. Thank you so much. We're going to end the show there. I hope as a result of listening to what we've said, you have a general idea of Dangme marriage and the process of our beautiful Dangme marriage. As you know, we will be here regularly talking about various aspects of Ga and Dangme culture. And I know that Tamate is also going to be back to talk about Krobo beads and the meaning and the value of these various beads. So if you are interested, please do subscribe to the GaDangme YouTube channel because we'll be uploading those videos there each time. And also, Klomaingme, if you're very interested in Krobo advocacy and development and anything to do with Krobo history, Tamate Otu is actually the chairperson of Klomaingme, which can be found on Facebook. And I will put details of the Facebook on the video to be uploaded. So thank you very much for listening. And I hope you enjoyed today's session. And thank you, Mochumi Tamate Otu, for all your insight today. I've learned a lot and I'm glad I've passed my exam. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.